Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Scotch and Stretch. My name is Ian.
And I'm Lauren.
And we have drinks in hand. How about you? Before we start drinking about and getting our workout on, this is meant to be fun, light-ish, but we'll feel that pleasant burn from head to toe as we activate those muscles and drink your spirit. Have a sip if you wish, but let's start by smelling it first. Once upon a time on YouTube, Lauren, remember what that man said?
I thought we were supposed to.
You can do that.
And then light sniff.
Light
Little
sniffs.
blow, release the ethanol, and then a light sniff.
We aren't here to give the direction to have you enjoy your spirit, but rather have a small sip.
Cheers.
Whether the cheers happens first or after, cheers to your health. Lauren's drinking the Macallan Gold tonight. Delicious vanilla aromas. And I am drinking the Oxytocin. Smells a little more like sheep manure. So whatever your tastes, let's go first. We're going to start with our breath. In a tall standing position or from your knees, place one hand on the belly and one hand on the chest. A 4-second belly breath in. Feel the rise and fall down low. Belly out on the in and in on that exhale. Repeat one more time. Belly breath in 4 seconds. And exhale, 4. Repeat in the chest. Breath in through the nose. And exhale. That bottom hand stays calm. The top hand moves. One more time. Breath in and exhale. Now take a 4-second belly breath and hold for 4. Exhale. A 4-second chest breath in. Hold. And exhale. Repeat that belly breath one last time. 4 seconds in. Hold full for 4 seconds. And then into that chest. Hold for 4 seconds. And like a crocodile style, nice and slow on the out. Check it out. Breathe into the belly. Use that diaphragm. Fill it up. And maybe that tastes
like
and
your
smells
cup.
good, just like your beverage in your cup there. From the breath, we'll continue with the nose and use it to trace a figure 8 at the head neck. Pulling the crown tall, getting a little bit lower to see that. Pulling the crown tall, very slow, extend the neck, face looking towards the ceiling. Then pull the chin down as the crown goes high to reset, looking straight ahead. Next, rotate, growing tall as I look to the left. Tall again through center, looking to the right. Return to face forward and just relax. Now let's go into that figure 8. With your face looking forward into the camera, not at the computer, we'll slowly flex the head neck, chin towards sternum. Then, across the collarbone, look over the shoulder. From the shoulder, look up the wall, and where the wall meets the ceiling, trace it to center. Then pull the crown high and chin low. Switch. From the low position, then the rotation, looking over my right shoulder. Continuing up the wall to where the wall meets the ceiling, then to center, and pulling back on to the original position. Repeat one last time with head neck extension first. Pull the chin down to guide it as you extend up. Then, looking at the ceiling to the wall on the left, the nose will start to go down the wall, maybe takes a sniff at the armpit, traces to center, and then pull down on the chin to sternum to control the up extension, and then looking over towards the right, down the wall, tracing the clavicle to center, return, and rest. I'm going to hand things over to Lauren as she continues our exploration of that body working through here. Maybe you want to sip.
Oh.
Maybe you want to save some for the end.
We're going to get to the floor, do a nice light wrist warm up. To get there, we're going to do our forward fold. Standing up tall, gently, chin towards the ceiling, and then start pulling that chin in towards the sternum or chest, and start rounding forward. As you do this, think about rolling and compressing like there's a wall in front of you as well as a wall behind you. Try to keep as close to your body as you can. A soft bend in the knees is allowed. Don't force anything that shouldn't happen. Once you're at the bottom of your forward fold, hang out for a second and take a breath. Exhale and maybe find a little more room to roll forward. Once done, bring your hands towards the floor and come on down to our all fours position to do a nice light wrist warm up. With your fingers spread out wide on the floor, you should have your chin gently tucked, looking between your hands. From here, gently slide your shoulder blades up into your ears like you're saying, I don't know, and then pull them down, engaging your lats or your underarms. Do that one more time. Slide your shoulders up, and then gently pull them down. Now rotate with those shoulders down. Rotate your elbow donations or your elbow pits forward, and then gently rotate them backwards. And repeat that again. Screw in those elbows, rotating the pits forward. Shoulders are still down. Let's gently try to drift forward so our shoulders come towards over our fingertips. And then use your fingers to press you back to stacked. Repeat that 2 more times. Gently drift forward, and then press all your fingers into the floor to push yourself back. And one last time, drifting forward. This time we're going to press so far back that we push ourselves away from the floor and shake that out for a second. We'll do one more wrist stretch here. Come on down this time to fists. So with those fists closed, you're on the knuckles right now. Again, shoulders are down out of your ears, elbows are rotated forward. Now gently open up the back of the hand to go towards the floor. Try to keep that shoulder down and elbow straight. Press into the floor to press back up to those knuckles. Repeat on the other side. Roll over the back of the hand. Keep the elbow straight, shoulder down. Press into the floor back to the fist. One last time each side. Rolling over. Check where your shoulder is. Keep that elbow straight. Press into the floor back up. Last time. Rolling over the back of that hand. And then pressing the floor away. And we'll extend to a tall kneel or a low kneel or a stand if you'd like. We're going to move our rib cage around.
Right on. Hands across chest. There will be flexion, extension, and some rotation throughout this drill. First, set up the flexion. Pull the rib cage down towards those hips. The chin gently connecting towards the sternum. Now pull down as to take a brace. Take a punch. Then lift the sternum without lifting the head. That's extension and flexion. Relax and center. Same thing, moving sideways. Oscillating the rib cage over the hips. Bend laterally, lifting up to go over a hurdle at the side, avoiding the side dump. Perhaps 1 or 2 more of this version of flexion and extension. Lastly, rotation. With the head and sternum as a pair, rotate so that they become off-centered compared to the hips. Return to center. Alternate your side. The sternum is moving with that chin and center. Wiggle.
Wiggle.
Let's connect those dots.
Let's have a sip.
Hands across the chest.
Oh,
have a sip.
poor timing.
In the studio, when we were doing this with experiences with people live here in the studio, I had to be careful. I didn't say take a sip as often as I did maybe in our kettlebell strength endurance practice. There's a difference between that water and Scotch, a little bit different effect on the workout. So again, from the position like Lauren or any position comfortable for you, including sitting on a chair, hands across the body. From here, sternum moving with the head neck, rotate. Then lift up and over. My left shoulder dips to the 8 o'clock on a clock face here. And then I'll lift up and over, pulling back to center. And now brace the core and extend that T-spine or rib cage. Alternate to the other side. The hips stay forward, the upper body includes the head moves. We lift up and over to the side, and then a rounding flexion shape back to center, brace the core, extend the T-spine. We did the front half of a circle. We're going to try to do the back half. From here, same thing. The hips are forward and squeezed, clenched at the glutes, and we'll bend to the back corner. This time, with abs braced, we'll do a little bit of the reverse limbo here out the back to that new corner, and then all the way around to center and up. Once more in the other direction. The hips are forward, the upper body rotates, head, neck included. We side bend, and then gently around that back. Our abs are still engaged to protect that lumbar, and then that rib cage roll from that back corner to center, pull down to grow up. How's that?
Lovely.
Right. Writing in green at night in the studio, also really tough here.
Cat-cow.
Coming up on the menu, the next is that cat-cow. We didn't really want too much movement of that lumbar spine in the upper body rotation, but here we'll get to explore the lumbar cat-cow. Ready to take that away, Lauren?
Yes, sir. I was just getting ready. Back to that all fours position. Slowly, without moving anything, just pull your hands towards your knees as if you're pulling the floor together. And feel your core light up. And now press your hands and knees away from center and feel that difference. Relax for a second. Now start pulling the floor together underneath you and start allowing your tail to tuck under or that low back to round and feel your core abs work. Now slowly start pressing the floor away from center and your tailbone is going to tilt towards the ceiling. Repeat. Pull the floor together underneath you. Core starts tucking under hips, bracing abs, rounding that low back. You can see shaking. And then pressing the floor away, tailbone tilts towards the ceiling. Gently come back to a neutral place. Press the floor away. Take a second. That was the low back. We're going to now get into that upper back.
That upper back doesn't need to be a big shape. In the cat-cow extension of the spine, we're not trying to do our backwards cartwheel. We're just trying to get tall. Ooh, although maybe it might help that.
Reaching for my drink.
It might help the backwards cartwheel too. But from here, we'll place those hands on the floor, back to Lauren's all fours position. Parallel wrists on knuckles are okay too. Build that wrist extension. From here, a little of that lumbar tuck, posterior tilt to the hips to engage the core. At the head and neck, tuck the chin towards the sternum. Without lifting the face, push your sternum forward, extending the T-spine. Make sure the low back shape doesn't change. Hold for 3, 2, stay where you are, but relax the tension. Did that feel like a little bit of work? Let's repeat. Grip the floor with the hands. The low back is slightly rounded in that posterior tuck of the hips. Brace the abs. Casual, head and neck connects to sternum. Then brace the abdominals and press the sternum forward, extending through the T-spine and holding for 4, 3, 2, easy on the off. Repeat one last time. The lumbar is providing the stability, pulling the hands to knees. Then chin tuck. Sternum forward, 5 to 10 seconds. Build tension through the stretch and make sure the low back doesn't move. Relax the tension. Press the hands into the floor, extending the hips and shaking it out. What does the magic board say now, Lauren?
It says we're going to stand up via our forward fold.
That sounds nice.
So with your hands on the ground, gently tuck your toes, lift your knees, tilting your tail nice and long to the ceiling. Take a second there. When you're ready, walk your feet to your hands or your hands towards your feet. Gently try to straighten your knees. And then, like we're in a telephone booth, we're going to stack ourselves up, one vertebrae on top of the other. And our head is last to stack. Maybe now is a good time for a little drink break.
Have a little sip.
Halfway.
How's the body feeling? How's the drink feeling? Sometimes that first sip can be stiff, particularly if it's a new bottle that you just cracked. A little tight, but after a little bit of air, a little bit of a taste test, our bodies and maybe your beverage starts to agree with you a little bit more. Continue our practice here tonight, working through some movement clock variations, including more upper body movement. We've already done a lot. I know that. I know my core feels fired up and my upper back feels pretty good. Maybe for the next time, follow along, think about those ways to move. Don't do too much. Little sips, little moves.
We're gonna do our leg bars first, though.
Leg bars first. Okay.
All right. Standing tall, you may want a balance aid to hold on to. Mine is invisible. Ian's using a bar, a chair, a couch, something you can reach like this. Standing tall in your inside leg or the leg closest to your bar. Take the outside leg and point it in front of you. From here, gently externally rotate or show the inseam of your pants up towards the ceiling. Then return the leg through the neutral position and internally rotate, hiding the inseam. Repeat that one more time. External rotation, inseam up. Internal rotation, inseam down. Making sure that ankle isn't doing more work than your hip. Come back to external rotation or inseam up. Let's perform the same thing out to the side. Take the leg to the side position, trying to show me that inseam forward, and then gently turn the leg down into internal rotation and external rotation again. One last time through internal rotation, so that kneecap is more facing forward now. Continue the circle, drawing the leg behind you, rolling over the foot, and pulling the leg underneath you to tall. Let's go right through center, point to the front. We'll do one more. External rotation, inseam up. Leg comes to the side, inseams forward. Slight internal rotation as we reach around to the back. Rolling over the foot and growing tall back to center. Whew. Shake it out. Let's do the same thing on the other side.
Other side.
Standing tall again. Take the outside leg, point it front. We did an external rotation first, inseam up. Internal rotation, inseam down. One more time of each. Externally rotate, opening. Internally rotate, closing. And we'll end though one more time in that external rotation. Draw the leg to the side or inseam forward here. Hips are also forward, shoulders and chest are also forward. From here, hide the inseam or internally rotate that femur. And then open. As you're doing this, those hips are staying level, that belt line isn't changing. One more internal rotation. Keep that slight internal rotation as you take it behind you. Roll over the foot, pull the leg underneath all the way back to the front. External rotation, inseam up. To the side. Internally rotate. Finish bringing the leg all the way behind you, rolling over the foot, and ending up tall again. Shake that out.
Thank you for warming up the hips. Before we got into those other things I described, we'll warm up those ankles and coordinate some squat efforts as well. With your feet in parallel, plie or press the knees over the toes while the hips stay over top.
You know I don't like being on that side.
All right. Where the hips stay over top of those feet, press those knees forward. Stand up, nice and tall. Repeat. Press the knees forward. And extend. Pivot on the heels. My feet are a little bit wide, but pivoting on those heels, they'll touch. And now, pull the heels together as we do our plie squat. As you can see, Lauren is doing in that phone booth again. Straight up the back and narrow in the front. Repeat one last time, pulling down, staying between those two panes of glass, pressing into the floor to stand. Open to your second position or that sumo stance squat. Pull or adduct those legs together to control gravity as we descend into the squat. Can we just shift from side to side here? A little bit of play. Once or twice more each way. Return to center, press down to get tall. Repeat one last time. Pull down with control, and then pressing from side to side, once or twice each way. Return center to tall. Press, shake, and one more time through that leg bar with your balance aid, or try it in the center. You said twice.
Did I?
You did.
I say we should go move on, Ian.
Moving on. Right on.
I'll rib slide. How about
All right,
that
rib
instead of
slide
leg
it up.
bar? We'll come back to our rib cage. We're going to move it in 3 different directions. The first direction tonight is going to be sliding from side to side. So what I like to do is stand with my feet slightly wider than my shoulders. That tends to block the hips from moving. I like to actually extend my arms out to the side so you can see this. From here, my rib cage is going to slide to one side, keeping my shoulders parallel with the floor. Using this long side, engage the core to pull you back. Other direction, sliding across, pulling back to center. Repeat a couple times. Maybe you have to go check yourself in a mirror or window and see that you're not dipping from side to side, but we're just letting those vertebrae slide across each other. Last one, we'll pull to return to center and shake it out.
Finally, the movement clock. We get to share that movement clock. Assemble the legs in that sumo or second stance. Pull the heels together, letting one knee bend so it goes towards over the toe. Don't go anywhere yet, but push that bent leg into the floor to create tension here. Then press that way to go the other. In this case, we'll repeat on the other side. Pull the left heel to center, allowing that knee to bend. Cramp the other leg hip extension. Then, without going anywhere, press the bent leg into the floor, create tension through the quads, and then press to tall in center. Repeat. I'll bend the right knee by pulling the heel to center, keeping the other hip extended. Then before I actually press away, create tension into the ground and press to tall. Repeat on the other side. Pull tension to center, knee towards over toe. Then press into the ground, return to center, return the feet to narrow, and add your wiggle. Upper body work, Lauren, go for it.
Our ribs slid side to side. Now we're going to take them on the vortex ride. That vortex is around this plane or circle here. Again, stand with your feet slightly wider than your hips. This time I prefer to cross my arms. We're going to extend front first. So still think about that sliding motion. Slide to the front. Now stack back to tall. Now practice your slide side to side again. Slide to the right. Pull to center. Slide to the left. Back to center. We're going to connect them this time. Sliding front. Slide yourself to the right. And then continue sliding around the back corner like you're drawing a circle here. Out the back, keep the core braced not to arch that low back. We're ending up in that back left corner. We'll slide around to the front, end up in that forward extension, and then come back to stack. Just take a second. Same thing other way. Slide ribcage forward, slide it to the left, around the back corner of the circle, reaching all the way behind you if you can, to a new corner, sliding around to the front, and then pulling back to tall. And relax. Ready for the dance floor.
Getting ready. Adding to the moves from that sumo position.
Sorry. Take my place.
Open up in that
here.
sumo stance. This time, let's pull ourselves down. Now, push from one of those bent legs towards the other side. Staying the same height, pull to center. Once in center, push on the other side to continue over the other way. Pull, staying at that same height in that sumo stance, once more to this side. Pull, staying low, push once you're in center, extend those hips forward. Last time was a return to center again, and then pushing down through the feet to extend the hips to tall. Return with that casual wiggle. Are there any other moves through that rib cage, Lauren?
Of course, there's one more, Ian.
The nightcap. What's the nightcap through the upper back?
The Ferris wheel.
Nice.
So romantic to end on.
Excellent.
This, we will be trying to draw a circle with our rib cage in the Ferris wheel-like direction. Again, assume that's slightly wider than hip stance. I like to cross the arms. First, pull down by engaging your core. You're not really rounding, you're just like flexing your abs. Now slide one direction, lift up and across. You're at the peak of the Ferris wheel. You're coming out the other side, pulling back down to the center position. Let's go the same direction again. Across, up, over, but we still have that brace core even at the most stretched position. Pull down, return to center, and just relax for a second. Whew. To the other way. Tuck those hips, squeeze the butt, pull down, slide, lift up, bend across, pulling back down, and returning through center. One last time, same direction. Slide, lift up, pull across, back down, return to center, and shake it out.
Return to your bar, your standing apparatus of choice, and a little bit of a different twist on the figure four. The figure four stretch, most of us might know it from sitting or laying on our back, pulling the leg over, flexing the hip, and kind of yelling about that stretch sensation on the lateral hip. Add strength to your stretch with this version of the standing figure four. With your balance aid at your side, pull a single foot to the low ankle position. With the other hip in extension, cramp tight, foot rooted. The knee that's bent or off the floor, try to bring it towards the bar side or across the body. Then open up towards the side where my knee is now facing Lauren. Then, could you climb the leg a little bit? Did the hips hike or did we stay nice and level? If we can maintain the level, then we'll adductor close the hip, cramp the standing leg tall, bring that standing elevated knee towards center, and then away from the body. One more repetition. Could we climb the leg again? Are those hips still level? And then close with control, cramping your standing leg tight. Hold in center, press down the leg.
Oops, I was going
and
for one more.
And grow tall underneath.
Felt so good.
On the other side. We'll switch. Lauren doesn't like that side, but sometimes you gotta do things you don't like to do.
You do.
Pulling up onto that standing leg. And again, the elevator bent knee is trying to connect with this imaginary line extended outside of my other hip. Then open up towards that figure four position out to the side. And this is where balance aids or Scotch interferes with this. But then we can pull it up just a little bit higher. If it's good up there, close it with control. Cramp your standing leg tight. Adduct, bringing this knee towards across the body. Then open up to the side. Are the hips level? If so, could you climb just a little bit? And then cramping tight. Yes, that cue comes up a lot. Pull that elevated knee over there, getting harder as you climb higher. And then press down the leg, connect the toe, ball, heel, and grow to tall. Do you have something left in your workout? Wonderful. Might be a good place to stop. We have a little bit of a sip left in our drink and would like to raise it to you here to say thank you very much for attending our first of perhaps many Scotch and Stretch lifts and loggers, wine bars, you name the exercise pun, or maybe the delicious vice, and we can too be into sharing our studio and our strength tips with you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Lauren, for sharing with me tonight. Small sips, little moves, stay strong with bars and bells. My name's Ian.
I'm Lauren. We'll see you again soon.
Have a good night.
Take care.
Goodbye.